right, so it is my distinct honor and pleasure, and I use those words very seriously. Honor and privilege tonight to introduce the recipient of this year's American Future Series 5-Star Award for extraordinary support to our armed forces. To say I'm introducing our honoree is a misnomer because he's someone who truly needs no introduction. I'm of course speaking about my dear friend Raanan Horowitz, former president and CEO of Elbit Systems of America, and former is very recent, former 1st of March, right? Something like that. So Raanan is an incredibly accomplished individual, and he's a gift to all of us in many ways. He's a captain of industry in every sense of the word. Raanan has served as the president and CEO of Elbit America since 2007, and he's led the company to achieve unprecedented growth, not only in size and scale, but in capability, in capacity, and impact. He's led with character as well, as evidenced by the company being recognized numerous times with the Ethisphere Institute as one of the world's most ethical companies. And in fact, this year's announcement was today. So Elbit again won. So I think that makes six times one of the world's most ethical companies. And that's leadership from the top, and that doesn't happen by accident. Ron is also a patriot and a community leader. So he's active in the defense and aerospace industry, serving on the board of governors of AIA, the Aerospace Industries Association, the Board of Governors of the National Defense Industrial Association, a member of the Business Executives for National Security. He served on the U.S. Army Science Board, the National Board of Directors for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And one of these days, he's going to be able to keep a job. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here tonight. It is my distinct honor to introduce Mr. Raanan Horowitz as our 5-star award winner tonight, and to turn this over to Raanan and Ken Peterman for the presentation of the award.
Give that to you. All right. There you go, sir. Get out of here. We shouldn't stand so close.
That's right.
Colleagues and partners, competimates, but not too close.
Yeah.
Folks, I've known Raanan Horowitz for more than 20 years. We met in San Jose, California. We were board members of a joint venture that was challenged to do something really tough, and that is deal with an existential threat from a foreign power that was a peer adversary that was threatening to take air superiority to a new level and really change the game. And this joint venture was created not by us, it was created by the government. And it was driven by a defector that flew a MiG aircraft from Russia to Japan and sought asylum. And when the United States government inspected that aircraft, they found capabilities that blew us away. It would have changed the game had the Russians, had there been a Eastern European Russian conflict. So there became a national imperative to deal with that problem. And it required the invention of technology that in America didn't exist. And the government created marriages between Elbit and Rockwell Collins, where I worked at the time. And we created a joint venture, and we created some technology that was game-changing. By partnering, by opening the kimono, by being candid, and by working harder than perhaps we'd ever worked before. I saw something at that time in Raanan Horowitz that impressed me. He's a gentleman. He's an innovator. He's passionate. His heart rides with the young men and women of this nation as they go into harm's way. And he's done everything he can in his career to make their life safer, make them more mission effective, and to help assure that they come home safely to their families, their mothers, their fathers, and their young children. And I can't tell you what a pleasure it is for me to be a part of an award presentation to an individual so distinguished, that I respect so much, that I have competed with passionately
That's right. You didn't say it for us.
I won a couple times. But he's one of my dearest friends. And so it is a pleasure for me to present this award, and I really do. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Ken. Okay,
Make sure you use the slimming app and the aging app and all that stuff. Got all that going. Raanan, out to you.
Well, just a few words. Thanks you, Ken. I really appreciate it. You know, I'm humbled by these descriptions. You know, I've as Dave said, I've handed my mantle on leading Elbit America. I've been CEO for 16 years and been with Elbit for 34. And I will just tell you, I've been very fortunate to work with some amazing people. I mean, we have 3,500 people. Tell the story that we started as a startup. You know, there's a lot of VCs here, and it's very kind of popular these days to do a startup. We have a lot of people here at South by a startup. We literally started as a startup in all places but Grand Rapids, Michigan. Less than 10 people, no contracts, no business. And this year, we're going to do around $1.5 billion, 3,500 people, facilities in the great state of Texas, Virginia, New Hampshire, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi. And I feel very fortunate to be able to do this journey. But the journey is really about people. And we talked a lot today during the event about what kind of people we're looking for. And we're looking for people that care about what they do, people who care about their warfighter. Our mission statement, I love our mission statement because it's about innovative solutions that protect and save lives. And it's protecting and saving lives for our warfighters, it's protecting and saving lives for those Border Patrol agents who are suffering these days, unbelievable hardship on the border. It's for pilots who fly aircrafts and need to land and take off in fog conditions. We're the world leader in enhanced flight vision system. So, I mean, that was enabled by people. A lot of people that served, that come to work for us, a lot of people that have people in the military. And as a result, we've kind of dedicated our time and our contribution to the warfighter. If it's around planting and putting flowers in Flower Mound, Texas, during the Memorial Day, if it's contributing to a new organization called Brothers Keepers that is dedicated to create very unique experiences for wounded warriors, if it's in supporting other organizations through NDIA and Wounded Warriors and the Special Forces Foundation, we just feel it's our obligation to do that, to be able to contribute and give back to those that are really giving back everything for our nation to secure the freedom that we have. And I think today, these days, a lot of people in our country take it for granted. I don't. I know you don't. It's not for granted. We have to contribute and to do that. So I'm honored for this award. David said, thank you for what you do with the America's Future series. I love that. You increase the awareness and the understanding of the importance of what we do. So thank you for that. Ken, you've had a tremendous career. We met in a lot of different places. Coopetition is the name of the game. Sometimes competitors, sometimes partners. So thank you very much, and I appreciate this honor. Thank you.
You're so kind. Thank you, Raanan. So this award is given primarily for two things. One is military philanthropy and giving, and Raanan just mentioned a few of the things that Elbit under his leadership did to contribute to make the lives better for those who served and the people who care about them, their families, et cetera. And I thank you for your philanthropy. That's been fantastic. Secondly, of course, the hiring and the development of veterans. As he says, he's been honored to work with a lot of great people, and of course, a significant percentage of those are veterans, et cetera, and they have been able to continue to serve after they get out of the military and continue their mission in serving our nation because they are able to go to work for a firm that values them. And I think they'll both say that, you know, they don't give veterans jobs because, oh, we need to give veterans jobs. They go, no, they are an asset, and they make our businesses better. And I like to say, if you want to change your culture, if you're not happy with your culture, you know, put a Marine in the room or whatever, right? You know, If people aren't showing
Amen
up,
to
show up on time, et cetera, and they haven't had their second latte, well, you know, you just need to put a couple of people that served in the room, and they'll be there, they'll be on time, they'll show up, they'll stay to the end. They won't worry about fame, they will worry about the mission, and you really can't ask for anything else. And so that's what this award is given, and he has given, and both these companies, these guys have given a lot of military veterans an opportunity to shine and to grow, et cetera, and that's what we need to do more of. So thank you for that. Then secondly, I thought I'm not going to make them sing for their supper too much, but I would like them to tell some silly stories on themselves. I really would like them to tell the most embarrassing stories they can, but they told me that I haven't bought them enough liquor to do that. So, but what I would like to ask you is, I'm going to give you guys the mic. I just really have one question. I have what they call old man's disease. Old man's disease is the desire to tell younger people stuff they don't really want to hear you say, right? Okay. It's like, but you got, and my son's here somewhere, right? Nod, Ben. Yeah, he's heard all my stories, right? So if you guys could share any one thing with young folks like this who are entrepreneurs, VC investors, et cetera, what sort of wisdom would you share them? What were the biggest takeaways from your career, and what would you want to impart? What wisdom would you want to impart to them?
I think for me, one of the key tenets for Elbit America and our success is not to be afraid to challenge the large companies, the large programs, go in and be a disruptor. I mean, a lot of our heritage and progress have been through disrupting and not be concerned about doing that. And the disrupting, Ken talked about helmet mounted display systems, okay, coming in with technology that was an enabler, but just being a disruptor in that. We disrupted the market. You were one of the first companies to put LCD displays to replace CRT displays on airplanes. We disrupted that. We were one of the first companies to actually use, there's a lot of discussion on commercial technology. We put 20-something years ago, the first time ever, a computer based on commercial components on a V-22. We disrupted the market. We changed the whole dynamics. I would just say, do that and be courageous with that, work with that, make it happen, and it will pay off. That's what we've done throughout our career. I think for me, I will just tell you, I sit here humbled because I grew up in Israel, and I came here to this country, and just Ken and I were talking, this is an industry where you develop long-term relationships. This is not an industry, I think the difference between this and the commercial market space, this is not an industry where you come in, do a quick win, become a billionaire, and then you do something else. This is an industry where you have to be for the long run. This is an industry where people have to trust you, that you're gonna be with them when it's difficult, when it's hard, when it's challenging. So I think that the secret for both of us is building those long-term relationships, the recognition by customers and partners that we're gonna be there for them. We're not here just to make a quick run, quick money, and then get out. I think that's a characteristic basically of both of us. And I would recommend this is the way to succeed in this market space.
As hard and as aggressively as we competed, the truth is that what this is about giving our young men and women in uniform the capability they need to execute their mission and to come home safely. And for that, we compete aggressively because it's worth it, okay? They're greater than we are. They're deserving. And so in some ways we came together in largely to do the right thing and to get the capability in the hands of those young men and women in uniform who, in this country, okay, choose a life of service. Choose, as my friend General Bruce Crawford once said, to adorn themselves in the cloth of this nation and serve. Okay, it's a great calling, and it deserves our best effort, and we gave that. I think Raanan told, I really respect what you said about the company and chasing that. I'll give you a little more personal story to complement that, and this is maybe my advice to those that are interested, to those that don't want to hear it. Okay. When I was a young man, probably a junior or senior in high school, I stood in the living room of my house alone with my father, who was we lived in Indiana, he was a basketball coach, as you might expect. And he turned to me and he said, young man, he said, it's getting to be time. What are you gonna do when you grow up? And I said, well, I don't know. But being a kind of a smart aleck young man, I said, I'm not gonna be a damn basketball coach. And I could see him melt. I mean, the blood came out of his face because this was his passion. And he said, why not? And I said, well, you get up at 4:30 in the morning. You go to the gym. You watch film of recruits. You watch film of other teams. You watch film of your own team. And I said, you passionately throw yourself into finding a way to make your players better, teach them, and recruit the athletes that you need, and then be in a position to accomplish your objectives and win games. And I said, Dad, I love you. I don't want to work that hard, okay? And he said, you know what? He said, if you would have asked me, I would have told you. I never worked a day in my life. He said, I would do this for free. If they'd put a roof over your head and put food on the table, I would do this job for free. And there's a long pause because I'm a high school junior or senior. I'm trying to take this in and I'm not really getting it, right? And he turns to me and he said, my advice to you, young man, find that thing that you love to do. Find that thing you're really passionate about. And if you can get somebody to pay you to do that every day, take that job and you'll never work a day in your life. And I think now, here we are. Raanan's a little younger than me.
Yeah. After two
I'm admitting
two
that.
red-eye flights this week, right?
I flew the red eye twice this week. It ain't easy, but I love it. Thank God they pay me for it. Anyway, the point is that I really think a great deal of Raanan Horowitz, and I'm so pleased to be a part of his reception of this award. And I think that professionally, personally, we're passionate about many of the same things. And I'm proud to call you my friend.